Hello, my friends. Dennis Gebhardt here with Guru Village, and welcome to this episode of Bring Smoke. Today, I want to talk to you about golf balls, baseballs, and basketballs. I'm sure many of you have been to color programs where you've heard this analogy used when explaining the difference in the size of the blue molecule, the red molecule, and the yellow molecule. So I want to make something very clear for you today. There are no golf balls, baseballs, or basketballs in hair color. Actually, all intermediary dyes are pretty much the same size. So many times in our industry, we use this analogy to rationalize some of the situations that occur. For example, when hair lightens, we lose the depth first. Because blue is the darkest of the three primaries, many people interpret that as the blue molecule leaves the hair first. But remember, there is no blue, red, or yellow in the hair. This is all guide points that we use to help us understand what's happening during the lightening process. The hair is not made up of those colors at all. You can do cross sections, you can do scanning electron microscope photographs, and you will see no blue, red, and yellow in the hair. All that you will see are two different types of melanin, most often eumelanin, which is sort of a black-gray, and pheomelanin, which is sort of a reddish, goldish kind of tone. So we use this analogy to explain what happens in the hair, which really makes it difficult for new colorists to understand exactly what's going on. We use the same analogy when we talk about why red shades fade. People say, well, the red dye molecule is really big, and it's not going to stay in the hair very long, and it's going to fade away. That's not true. It hasn't been true for at least the last 10 or 15 years. Virtually every manufacturer today in our industry is using micropigment technology. That's not exclusive to one brand. So micropigment technology means that using smaller pigments to penetrate deeper into the cortical fibers of the hair. But the reason that reds have a tendency to fade quicker than any other colors is simply because of the way a red shade is made. In order to create a bright red shade, I must reduce the amount of background. Virtually every manufacturer today, most all manufacturers have blended backgrounds, meaning that they put all dye intermediaries in there, they put a background in there, so it helps you control warmth as you lighten. It also helps maintain a base so that even if it's a red shade, as it fades over a period of 30 days, it doesn't seem to fade quite as much because it has a solid background in it. So the brighter the red, the less background I can have. The less background I have, the more hollow the finished color result will be, which stands to reason that red is going to fade probably faster than brunettes would fade than you would like them to. Remember, red is a combination. It's a combination of some bit of depth in the hair and a lot of lightness in the hair. So it is in that very sensitive, fragile state to where it can fade one way or the other. So if you want your reds to hold their tone longer, support them with additional color. What do I mean by that? Real simple. If I'm doing a cool red and I want it to stay red or visually seem to hold the red longer, I'm going to add maybe some gray to my formula. Gray is at neutral, completely, it's as close to neutral as you can get. And it's going to keep the red on the cool side, not too far over, but it's going to hold the background so that red's going to stay stable for you over a period of 30 days. If it's a warm red, I'm going to support it with a brown, as neutral a brown as I can, a natural looking brown shade, because that's going to provide background so that over the period of 30 days of clients shampooing over and over and over again, the red is going to hold its tone. But it has nothing to do with the molecular size. In fact, you know, the red, the way colors, the way molecules, dye molecules reflect light have really nothing to do with their size at all. It actually has to do with the electrons and the benzene ring and the chemicals that they're based on. Because remember, in a tube of hair color, there is no color. It's all chemicals and how those chemicals react together. So, no golf balls, no baseballs, no basketballs. When I'm working with hair color, there is no difference in the size of the dyes. The reason that hair color may have a tendency to go dark is because I colored hair that was porous. Porous hair will not hold on to those artificial dyes as well as healthy hair will. Therefore, it may release some of them. And when it releases some of them, I will be left with cooler tones as the warm tones fade away, and that's why it visually starts to look darker. The reason my reds fade, again, is because I don't have much background in them. The less background I have, the more hollow the hair color is to begin with. So hopefully that does away with something that makes my brain smoke when they talk about golf balls, baseballs, and basketballs. So as we say at Guru Village, learn it, live it, own it, and when you do, you'll be able to master the great world of hair color. Hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you'd like to share it with your friends, please do, because our goal is to empower you as a salon professional and help you discover your genius. So until I see you next time, from my heart to yours, I'm Captain Color, and I'm out.